Alright guys, this tutorial is going to help you cover the basics of basic text, transitions, and some basic effects for your pictures. The first thing we're going to talk about is text. To apply text, you have your text toolbar right down here, and all you need to do to activate it is to click on your picture up top, type what you like, and you may notice that it's very large. So to change the type of text, the size, or the color, we need to go to our graphics tab. So we're going to click graphics at the top, and it's going to bring up some templates, but I've already typed something, so I just want to hit edit. So from here you can see what I typed. I typed hello, and if I click on it and highlight it, I can now go down towards the bottom and I can make some changes. We're going to ignore a lot of this here in the middle for right now. We're going to move down here to text. So I can click the text drop down menu and I'm going to get a whole bunch of different options, and I can choose anything that I think is going to look good. I am just going to go with a simple sans serif. And if I want to make it narrow or bold or italic, I have these options here. I'm just going to leave it alone. From here we can choose the size. We can increase and decrease just by taking this little ball and dragging it, or we can click on it and select a number and hit enter. If I want to change the color, I'm going to go down here to the fill option, click on the color, and then from here I can use my slider tool to decide a color that is going to look best for my picture. We'll go with this pink. Once I've decided that, I can use my selection tool and I can move it anywhere on the screen that I like, anywhere that I think is going to show up well. If I decide that it doesn't show up the way that I want it, I just select my text tool again, click back in my box, highlight my letters, and select a different color. And from there I can decide if my text is a little bit better. I can also adjust the size by grabbing the corners and dragging out to make it larger. I can also rotate it by going in the corner where you see the arrows look like a little curve. Grab that and I can tilt it and rotate it. And if I want to reset it, all I have to do is click the vertical center and the horizontal center and the line vertical. And sometimes if that doesn't work, all we got to do is just hit undo at the top menu and it'll go back. So now that we have some text on here, I can decide how long or how short I want it to stay. By dragging it out, it will go longer and it would be on multiple pictures. Or if I wanted to stay on one picture, I just drag it so it sits on top of one picture. Every time I want to make a new text, I drag my time bar, click my type tool, click again, and type my new word. And then make sure that it lines up exactly over the box, over the picture where I want it to show up. So that's the basics for text. We will get into some more advanced stuff later in the semester, but that is just the basic of how to put text on your videos. The next thing we're going to talk about is going to be transitions. So transitions can happen between pictures and transitions can happen between audio. You'll find them here in your effects tab. So if I click effects up at the top bar, I'm going to get some pre-loaded effects. And I'm looking for video transitions. So this is going to be transitions between my video clips, and it can be video clips or pictures. So there's a lot of different options. You kind of get to choose what you think is going to work best for you. Some common ones that you might find would be like a page peel, like a page turning. I also like dissolves. So a cross dissolve is going to be your default dissolve transition, and it is just going to allow one picture to melt into the other gradually. So when you want to use a transition, you click and drag, and you want to make sure that it sits right on the line between the two, not over to the side, right in the middle. And you can use different ones. You can use dip to black. You can use dip to white. All of these transitions you can play with, and you can decide which one you're going to like the most for your particular film. And as you see, once I play, the transition takes effect in between each of those pictures, depending on what type of transition it was. If you don't like a transition, all you have to do is, using your selection tool, click on your transition and hit your delete button, and it will take the transition off of your video. You can also change the time of your transitions. We'll talk more about that later in the semester, but you can also make them longer or shorter depending on what type of effect you're trying to get. So for right now, I'm just going to put cross dissolve on all of my images and have that be the transition that I use throughout this video so I can maintain consistency. The last thing we're going to talk about is the effects that we can apply to pictures and videos in your Premiere projects. So in the same part of the effects folder where you find video transitions, right above it you'll find video effects. If I click this down button, you're going to see a lot of different folders containing a lot of different kinds of effects. We will talk about some of these this semester, but there will be some that we don't use generally in our courses. But the one we're going to focus on for this tutorial is going to be stylize. These are going to be ones that you can use in your 60-second video. If I click the down arrow, I get a whole bunch of different options of different filters and effects that I can apply to my video. For example, if I want something to look pixelated, I can choose this mosaic option. To use it, I click and drag and drop it on the image that I want to use, and all of a sudden, it has become pixelated. If I decide I don't want that, I can just go to Edit and Undo. If you are looking for something to make it look like it is on torn paper, there is these roughed edges, and you'll notice up here it makes it look like it's a little rough, a little torn, and that might be a fun effect. We can use any effect except we do not use the strobe light effect. We do not use the strobe light effect because it may trigger seizures or other disorders, and it is not generally used for viewing. This is something that is used more in special effects movie. We will not be using the strobe light effect, so please do not apply that to any of your pictures or your videos in your projects. So after you have applied any effects that you might want, the last thing is to zoom in or zoom out pictures if you need to. So as you may notice in my video, this picture touches all four sides of my video window. This picture, however, has a black bar at the bottom and at the top. This is because my picture doesn't quite fit in the frame. To fix that, I am going to click on the picture that doesn't quite fit, and I am going to go to my editing tab right at the top. So now that I'm in my editing tab, the way that I will zoom in is I will go to my first option, which is called motion. This is going to be the movement and the size of my picture. and I'm going to select scale. As you notice, there is a blue 100 here, which means currently the picture is showing up at 100% of its size. If I click and drag and I move my mouse to the left or to the right, I can zoom. So that way all of my picture touches all four sides. Likewise, I can also move my picture up and down and left to right by using the position numbers. So I can get my picture positioned exactly how I want it. This is really useful if you are picking images from the internet that are not all the same size. It allows you to zoom in and zoom out to make sure that there are no black bars on the sides or at the top at the bottom. You will still see it down here, but what's important is the way that it appears up here in the play window. So in this tutorial, you learned how to add and edit text, add transitions between your pictures and videos, apply simple filter effects to pictures and videos, and resize pictures to fit the play window. If you need any help, please review this tutorial again or ask me.